You also mentioned influencers. And actually, on that topic, a lot of filmmakers who got their film out there are like, okay, well, now I need to get in touch with all these professional reviewers who are going to leave a review of the film, and that's going to drive more traffic. And those reviewers are now not just bloggers, but, they're YouTubers, they're TikTokers, and so on.
Yeah.
And what filmmakers then find is every single one of those reviewers wants to be paid for leaving the review of the film. And I'm wondering whether you think that this is something that's worth spending money on and how to figure out where it is or isn't.
Yeah, I'm going to say absolutely. And in fact, there was I don't know if you know who Jason Horton is. He's got his own. I've been
Yeah.
on his podcast and I contribute a lot to his page. I love Jason. He's such a an advocate of the independent film community. He's a great supporter and he provides a lot of great information. Um, it's I posted on his page, on his filmmaker page, where I posted something like 2022 um, websites where you can garner a paid review. And what I said when I put that post there is I said, look, don't let anybody sell you on the idea that this is unethical. And let me explain why. First of all, most outlets today, most press outlets, they don't have the bandwidth to review your film. Okay, they just don't. They just don't. That's just like, imagine this. Imagine how many submissions the press outlets are getting. Again, it's no different than the platforms being overwhelmed. Think about the press outlets, right? Boutique firms, individuals, studios, everybody's like, hey, review my film. Well, guess what? They have to cherry pick. They have to pick and choose what they can and can't do. There are now a plethora of them that are offering a service not to guarantee that you're going to get a good review, but to guarantee that you actually will get reviewed, right? It becomes a service oriented thing because look, they have a bandwidth issue, they have a time issue, and the idea of having to pay a fee to guarantee that you'll get a review could be bad. You might pay the fee and get a shitty review, so you have to be prepared for that. But that is just where we're at in the business. I would say the same thing about influencers. Now, we've been lucky as a company. Sarah was very strategic. She's very smart with and savvy with social media. And she was able to reach out to a lot of influencers who are in the review space and were looking for content. And we started doing interesting deals where we started backtracking on our library and we started having them review films that may have been 3 or 4 years old, but it gave them content. It gave them something to talk about, while also then strategically, reviewing our newer content. Now, do we get everybody to do that? No. Do some people want to be paid? Absolutely. Have we paid people? Absolutely. When and where it makes sense, we do that to try and get the review and get the film being talked to, good or bad. And look, and here's the thing: even a bad review, I get it. Maybe somebody's got 50, 100,000 followers, and the review gets out there, the clip gets out there, the trailer gets out there, the review gets out there. You know, this is what we have to do. It's part of the job. It's part of the gig. It's what we have to do. So anybody trying to sell anybody on this idea that you shouldn't pay to get an expedited, and that's what it's usually referred to, an expedited review or a guaranteed or an expedited review, not a good review. That's not, there was a bunch of controversy about that not long ago, but and it tainted the service a little bit, but I call bullshit. And I think that this is what we have to do. Why am I going to go pay? I'll give you an example. And again, this is not to crap on PR people. I love PR people. There's a lot of good PR people out there. But if I'm going to pay you $2,000 to go and just try to bang down a bunch of doors to get my press release picked up, my trailer out there, my poster out there, and maybe get some reviews that you can't guarantee that I'm going to get, why wouldn't I just take that $2,000 and pick 5, 6, 7, 8 outlets and some influencers and say, hey, here's $100 a year, here's $50 a year, here's $75 a year, whatever it is, right? I'm going to be guaranteed a review. Great. To
Yeah.
me, smarter money, smarter spend. It goes back to what I was talking about earlier. What are you doing with your money? What's the intelligent spend? Okay. But again,
Yeah.
look, that's subjective. That's up to the individual. I'm just giving you my
Mhm.
strong opinion about it as somebody who's seen so many different sides of this business at this point. Um, I just think that we have to kind of turn over every stone, and we've got to try everything that we can to get exposure for the films. At the end of the day, I think everything comes down to how do we keep beating the drum on the exposure of these films? How do we keep letting people know that they're there and they should check them out? So,
Yeah. No,
and
that's
if
such
you're
a great
against, and if you're and if
explanation.
you- and if you're against that, that's okay. But don't shit all over it. Just because you don't care for it, that's okay. You don't have to do it. You don't have to go pay somebody an outlet to guarantee a review of your film. That's fine. But don't crap all over the process, because it's a legitimate process, and that's what it is. And nothing in this business, in this life, is free. We're paying for everything somehow, some way. Everybody's getting something, and we've got to figure out how to make sense of it.
Yeah, no. And if you're not paying for something, it's because you are the product, right?
Right.
I wanna also just demystify what kind of fees for reviewers people can expect, or for those expedited reviews. Can you give any kind of like indication, of the kind of what kind of size reviewer there are, and roughly what a filmmaker could expect to pay for that expedited review?
I mean, average. I mean, we're usually paying anywhere from $50 to $150.
Okay.
That's it. I
Right.
mean, I think anything above that is getting a little crazy.
Mhm.
I mean, at the end of the day. But yeah, that's about. I would say that's about average.